Welcome back, focused learners. Let's jump right into this explainer. It's kind of wild when you think about it. We've mapped the human genome, we send rovers to Mars, we split the atom. But man, put a plate of warm cookies on the kitchen counter and we completely lose our minds. Or what about that sudden overwhelming urge to check your phone right in the middle of a conversation? It's funny, sure, but it actually points to this massive, microscopic clash happening inside your brain right this very second. Today, we're unpacking that friction. We're looking at the battle between our ancient evolutionary biology and modern-day temptations. It is literally a head-to-head battle between competing neural forces. And whoever wins the split-second skirmish, well, that dictates our ability to practice self-restraint. So if you've ever wondered why it's so agonizingly hard to just hold back, the answer goes way deeper than just having good character or moral fortitude. It all comes down to the fascinating, dynamic science of neurochemical harmony.
Okay, let's dive into this. Why do we so often give in to reckless urges and that constant, nagging pull of instant gratification? Look, I know you already realize you're battling impulsivity. I mean, we all are, right? We all know that sinking feeling. You wake up and decide, I'm going to aggressively save money, and then, inexplicably, you're clicking buy now on some shiny new gadget just a few hours later. Or you sit down to finally finish that massive project and boom, you succumb to the gravitational pull of what was supposed to be a 5-minute social media scroll, and it just evaporates your entire afternoon. What's truly fascinating here isn't just that we give in, it's the sheer, blinding speed at which our brain circuitry gets completely hijacked. In our modern world, literally everything, from app algorithms to hyper-palatable junk food, is weaponized to trigger this exact response. It feels like an overpowering wave, because biologically speaking, it is. Our brains are doing exactly what they evolved to do. Grab high-value rewards while they're sitting right in front of us. The trick, though, is understanding how to trigger the override.
Now, to understand that override, we've got to master a core concept here: neurochemical harmony. And hey, this isn't just some abstract wellness buzzword. It is the literal optimal chemical balance in your brain between competing neural forces, and it completely dictates your decision-making and self-restraint. We really need to move past this old idea of willpower as some sort of mystical muscle that you just have to flex harder. Instead, I want you to think of this harmony as an active, dynamic tug of war happening milliseconds before you take any action. It's a beautifully complex algorithm. When you make a highly restrained, really smart decision, it's because these competing chemical forces are in a state of perfect, calibrated harmony. But when you cave to a reckless urge, well, that balance hasn't just slipped. It's been violently tipped by one specific, super aggressive player in your neural architecture. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can visualize this tug of war. The absolute easiest way to conceptualize it is to look at these two competing forces like the pedals in a high-performance sports car. Let's start with dopamine. Dopamine is the accelerator. It is the gas. When dopamine floods your system, it hits hard and it drives you forward. It demands instant gratification right now. It spots the reward, it locks on, it revs that neural engine to the absolute red line. And it completely obliterates any thought of future consequences, because the only thing that matters is the thrill right in this exact moment. It is fast, it is urgent, it is highly, highly aggressive. But then, competing against all of that, we have serotonin. Serotonin is the brake pedal. When serotonin engages, the entire system simply slows down. It deliberately pumps the brakes. It introduces this calm, measured, expansive pace to your processing. It gives you the crucial mental space to just stop, look at the horizon, and prioritize enduring rewards over whatever immediate temptation is sitting right there in front of your bumper. Honestly, serotonin is truly the unsung hero of self-restraint. It acts as an active agent inside your brain, kind of like an internal counselor, actually. When we break down its specific roles, you start to see just how vital it is for literally everything we do. First and foremost, it regulates your mood and actively promotes a deep sense of calm. Think of it like liquid coolant, physically dropping the temperature of that overheated, dopamine-driven engine. And because of this amazing cooling effect, it effectively manages impulse control. When that reckless urge strikes out of nowhere, serotonin steps right in to temper the blaze. And crucially, it counsels long-term evaluation. This vital regulator forces you to zoom out, to look at the big picture. It gives you the biological luxury of pausing and asking yourself, wait a second, is this quick thrill actually worth it? It's the protective mechanism that swoops in to save us from our own impulsive momentum. And this brilliantly illustrates how our source breaks down the dynamic at play. Quote, if dopamine is the gas that drives you toward a reward, serotonin is the brake. End quote. I absolutely love the elegant simplicity of that framing. It just intuitively locks in the neurochemical architecture of patience. Think about it. You would never, ever attempt to drive a car down a crowded highway if it only had a gas pedal. I mean, no way. It would be an absolute disaster. Well, similarly, you cannot navigate life safely or successfully if you're driven exclusively by dopamine. You absolutely need a highly functional, highly responsive braking system just to survive the journey.
By acting as that essential braking mechanism, serotonin helps you choose patience and long-term benefits over immediate, impulsive cravings. Let's connect this back to those modern traps we were talking about earlier. Whether you're trying to build a resilient career, or get in physical shape, or maybe save up for a family home, you are pursuing enduring rewards. And those things, they require a massive amount of time and sustained effort. Serotonin is essentially the biological equivalent of delayed gratification. In an evolutionary context, this was the exact chemical advantage that allowed early humans to, say, store food for the winter rather than just devouring it all at once, or to meticulously build shelters instead of just wandering around aimlessly. By actually applying the brakes to our fleeting desires, serotonin literally facilitates the patience we need to build a meaningful future.
So the crucial point is that optimal decision-making requires a precise balance between the accelerator and the brake. Now, it's vital to understand we aren't villainizing dopamine here. Actually, scratch that. It's more like we're just putting it in its proper place. You can't just sit and park forever with the brakes fully locked, never feeling the drive or motivation to go after any rewards at all. I mean, that's not a functional life either. But you certainly can't drive with the accelerator endlessly slammed to the floorboards. What a healthy, high-functioning brain requires is intricate calibration. It's a context-dependent balance, basically a chemical tie between these competing forces. We need the drive to seek out meaningful rewards, perfectly matched with the wisdom to wait for the right ones. When dopamine and serotonin are in harmony, when they're dynamically working together in that calibrated state, we are finally empowered to navigate through life safely and make highly effective decisions. I want to leave you with a question to really turn over in your mind today. Take a hard, honest look at your own daily routines. Are you driving your daily decisions with way too much gas and not nearly enough brake? Are you consistently letting dopamine hijack the wheel? Or are you actively giving serotonin the space it needs to help you assess your true long-term goals? Understanding this whole concept of neurochemical harmony, it profoundly changes the way we view our own missteps. It kind of removes the guilt, right? It's not about a fundamental lack of discipline. It's about recognizing when your internal braking system just needs a little support to temper those reckless urges. So the next time you feel that powerful, magnetic pull of instant gratification, remember that you actually have the power to influence this chemical tug-of-war just through simple awareness. Take a breath, engage the brake, and take back the wheel.